There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to It's All About the Mouse YouTube series. And this month we were to be inspired by a Disney quote. So I chose this quote from The Return of Jafar, which is, I think, like the second Aladdin movie. Maybe it's the third, I'm not sure. But it says today's special moments are tomorrow's memories. And so I really thought about documenting my scrapbooking, my scrapbooking process. I'm not sure. It's not really my process because I'm showing you the process here, obviously, in this video, but it's really more about why I scrapbook. And so I took a picture of a stack of layouts that I have that are yet to be put away, and I thought it would be a good time to talk about the main reason that I scrapbook is because I really fear that I will not remember these little stories later. I already have trouble with that. So, yeah, so that's why I decided to start scrapbooking. Well, it's one of the reasons. So what I'm doing here is I have the pen adapter for the Silhouette machine. This is for the Silhouette Cameo. And I'm gone through a couple of Sharpies there to figure out which one I want to use. And you can see that I've got it in the pen holder. There's a little cap that goes on the end that I'm putting there. And when you slide the pen into the holder, when the tip hits the cap, that is when you know that you are far enough in for it to be ready to write in your Cameo. So I am trying out a few different colors here. And then you can see on my desk there's a little gray adapter and a blue adapter, and that accommodates different pens based on their barrel width. I don't think you could put like a Copic in here because it doesn't have like a round barrel, but any of the round barrel pens should work. And so by the magic of editing, there is the quote written down based from my Cameo. I also included a couple of lines around it so it looks more like a 3x4 card. And then I went through by hand and colored in the centers of all of the words because the Cameo thinks it's working just like a blade, and it's not going to color in the centers. It's going to only do the outline of the words. And so that is what I was doing there because I wanted the letters to be solid. I didn't want them to have that opening, the white space in the middle of them. So then I pulled out one of my favorite stamp sets. It's from the Stamp Market. It's called Labeled, and I don't think they make this anymore, and it's very hard to find. So I apologize if you're having trouble finding it. I have been looking for a newer stamp set that is similar because I know a lot of people really like it, and I thought it would be nice if I could recommend something in place of it, but I haven't found something that I'm really happy with yet. So I'm still looking, but I didn't end up using those two that I just stamped out. I had stamped them in black. I wasn't really thrilled with them the way that they looked on this paper. I am using a combination of some pink fresh paper and some Pebbles paper. The blue is the Pebbles paper. And the reason I chose that is because the top layout has that same paper on it, and that top in the top layout in the photo. And so I thought it was a nice way to bring a little bit of balance by having the blue at the bottom of my layout and in the top of my photo. And so then I am going to just use some of this red heart or pink heart paper. That is from Jen Hadfield. I think it's one of her newer collections. And then I am just mixing it up with some scraps out of my scrap bin. And I had this piece of red. I decided to use a border punch that was on my desk. And it's a border punch I don't use frequently, but I thought it would be fun to go ahead and use that. And I'm just layering up based on the colors that are represented in the hearts and that blue paper at the bottom, because I don't want my blues to really fight with each other. I want them to be complementary to each other, and not complementary as in a complementary color based on the color wheel, but something that looks nice together. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that entire stack down, and then I have that little tab, like a tab topper there. That is from Photoplay's scrapbook collection. It's a couple years old now, and it was the only thing I really found in the collection that I wanted to use. I pulled out the whole thing, kind of looked through it, and that was the one piece that I was happy with because it has all the same colors as the hearts, and it just brings some more of those colors to the left-hand side of the photograph. Now I did pull out more stickers from Jen Hadfield. that has all of those same colors in the florals. And I pulled out a dimensional flower there on the right hand side from Vicki Boutin, and I really like how that looks. It just brings a little pop of that orangey red color over to the right hand side, and I thought it balanced well. That sticker that says Heart and Soul is from Pink Fresh Studios. It's one of their really old collections. I've had it in my stash for quite some time. And then I am using this stamp from Elizabeth Craft Designs. It's one of her planner stamps, and it is a Christmas collection or Christmas stamp set. It has this beautiful tab or beautiful file folder label that I just love, and you can make it any color you want because it's a stamp. But all of the words that are in the same pack, well, the majority of the words are Christmas related, but there are a few things like magical and moments and I think documented and such like that that are very versatile, but there are a bunch of like Christmas ones as well. So then I went through and I decided to add then one of those labels from the stamp market up at the top, but I decided to stamp it in the blue color instead. So it kind of brings more of the blue that is at the bottom of the layout into the top of the layout. And then I'm just layering up some flowers. And I'm adding a few gold hearts around each of my embellishment clusters, and those are also from Jen Hadfield. Again, one of her older collections, but any gold hearts would do. While I do this, let me just tell you a little bit about All About the Mouse. It's a monthly YouTube series, first Monday of the month, and we have different inspiration each month. Like I said, this month was based on a quote. You can check out everybody else's links down in my description box and see what they pulled their quotes from. And it didn't necessarily mean you had to have the quote on your layout. You just had to have inspiration from the quote. So I did choose to have it on my layout, and then I'm going to add quite a bit of journaling below that 3x4 card and onto those labels that I have at the top of the photograph. This little blue piece that I'm placing now, I am popping that up onto foam, as is the envelope. The navy blue piece is from Cocoa Vanilla Studios Midnight Collection, I believe. And then I had some of these acrylic hearts on my desk, and I decided to go ahead and pull a black one in to each of those areas just to add a little pop of black. And I kind of paired them up with the gold heart that I put down. So they're just kind of like a little two hearts side by side, not side by side, but diagonal from each other in each of those areas. And those are just being adhered with some glue dots. I find that is the best thing to adhere the acrylic with. And so I like how that's looking. I am going to use a black pen to do my journaling, and then I'm using a black pen to do a sketchy outline all the way around the entire layout. And the best way for me to do this is to start at the furthest point and draw your entire arm back without bending your wrist or your hand at all. And that gives you kind of straighter lines. And wherever I do a double line, and wherever they intersect, I usually just do a little scribble mark so it looks like there's a little bit of stitching over the top. And I really like how that looks. I hope that you have enjoyed this video today. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them down below. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Check out everyone else who's playing along. I'll see you guys again soon.